Hello, my name is Amanda, and today I felt like recording on the webcam for the vibes, but I'm going to be talking about the concept of the quirky/awkward black girl. I feel like this trope has been somewhat on the rise in the mainstream media in the past few years, but I know a lot of people still want to see more of this character because there historically has not been nearly enough representation. Also, I'm going to be using quirky and awkward interchangeably throughout this video. Side note, I am by no means an anthropologist or expert on black women's role in the media, I just have Google. Okay, let's start from the beginning with the most historically influential stereotypes that black women in media have been confined to.
Just hold on and suck in.
Mammy, here's for Scarlet's Vickles.
First, we have the mammy. This trope has defined the relationship between a black woman and any entity she comes in contact with. It's parasitic, and the black woman is always the host.
Reflecting on her role in The Help, Viola says, I was that journeyman actor trying to get in. Not a lot of narratives are also invested in our humanity. They're invested in the idea of what it means to be black, but it's catering to the white audience. The white audience at the most can sit and get an academic lesson into how we are. Then they leave the movie theater and they talk about what it meant. They're not moved by who we were.
She's expected to always give, but never take. She's the obedient, submissive, asexual servant who is thought of as more of a natural resource that keeps on giving and never runs out than an actual human being.
Tonight, CBS will air First Lady Michelle Obama's final interview inside the White House with Oprah. In a preview, the First Lady shares her thoughts on being labeled an angry black woman after President Obama began his campaign for president back in 2007.
When you were labeled that angry black woman, was that one of the things that knocked you back a bit?
Well, that was one of those things that you just sort of think, dang, you don't even know me.
Next, we have the sapphire, also known as the angry black woman. This trope started in the antebellum era where a real woman was considered a white woman, a delicate, soft damsel. Black women were thought to be the opposite of this, and by the mid-19th century, angry became a set-in-stone antecedent that preceded their identity.
Get thee behind me, Satan. But I'm going to get behind you because I'm going to put my foot in your...
I particularly hate this trope because even now I think black women are consciously and subconsciously taught to overcompensate their femininity because this stereotype says that blackness inherently takes away from being a woman.
A woman should be very, very soft, and so should her hair. That's why I switched to soft and beautiful cream relaxer.
A white girl can wear a messy bun and looser fitting clothes and minimal makeup, and it's a cute, natural, effortless, boho look. And suddenly, when a black woman does this, especially a darker skinned black woman, her hair is nappy and she looks unkempt.
When Foxy Brown comes to town, all the brothers gather round, 'cause she can really shake 'em down.
Foxy lady, Foxy lady.
Pam Grier, that one chick hit squad who creamed you as coffee, is back to do a job on the mob as Foxy Brown.
You tell me who you want done, and I'll do the hell out of it.
And this brings me to the third stereotype, the Jezebel, the black woman with the voracious sexual appetite that justified her exploitation in the antebellum era and beyond. This stereotype portrays black women as innately promiscuous and even predatory. This belief is why young black girls tend to be hypersexualized at a young age, and the persistence of it makes black women more vulnerable to sexual assault but less likely to be believed when they are violated. The stereotypes I listed mostly originated in the pre-Civil War era, and the quirky black girl trope has most recently seen a rise in mainstream media in the 2000s.
Meet Tracy.
I'm 24, I'm a virgin.
Tracy wants more excitement from life.
What are you doing? Thought you might want a shot at taking the title.
Nope, not more Ludo.
I'm gonna make it happen.
She wants to grow up.
I like you.
And live the life other people live.
It's like Beyonce. Is it?
But she still has a lot to learn. Step into Tracy's world.
I don't remember if I was supposed to wear clothes for this bit or not.
As she's fairly recent, I want to do my own examination / unpacking of the quirky black girl. Is she finally the archetype that sets black women free from roles defined by slavery and white supremacy? I think the intention of this trope is to essentially reject the previous stereotypes about black women that are still cemented in modern society and say, hey, we're multidimensional human beings and one thing will never be able to define us. Issa Rae first popularized the term awkward black girl with her 2011 web series, which led to her hit HBO show Insecure.
I'm awkward and black. Doubt it, it's back. Ain't with me, you're bad. Season 2. I am a motherfucker.
And I do want to clarify, being a quirky or awkward black girl does not just mean that you like white people stuff, and I think Issa Rae does a great job with this in Insecure and incorporating black culture. The most defining thing about the quirky or awkward black girl experience is that it's real and that it's actually lived in and it's not just a stereotype, you know?
I think the thing that drives me crazy is always hearing people say, like, there aren't enough black female writers, like we can't find them, where are they? And I feel like this group is the proof.
Which is why it's important to note that a key difference between the quirky black girl and the previous archetypes about black women is that the quirky black girl was created by black women, not by white people who wanted to keep black people oppressed.
We have writers, we have directors, we have actors, we have artisans, we have everything that you need in order to make great work that deserves to be seen. The one thing where I think we need more of our presence is in the boardrooms where they are selecting what is going to get made and how much money it's going to get when it gets made.
But let's more broadly examine who the quirky black girl is. She usually grew up in a middle-class family in a white-ass suburb, so from an early age, her survival tactic was to assimilate. She gets asked things like,
why you talk like a white girl? You caught me, I'm rocking blackface.
It's racist.
Is usually the only black person in her friend group, and is a victim of tokenism. Having a phase where she heat damaged her hair from perming or straightening it too often is basically a rite of passage. She probably has interests, hobbies, and aspirations that are historically deemed non-black, whether it's doing gymnastics, listening to indie music, or wanting to pursue a career in the arts. She feels too black for the white kids and not black enough for the black kids, and usually college becomes a turning point where she can find other people who relate to her identity struggles, whether it's at an HBCU or the BSU at a PWI. Wow, that was a lot of acronyms. But I truly do hope that the archetype of quirky black girl is able to evolve beyond just a girl because, as we know, erasure of older women in the media is rampant, routine, and damaging. I also want to add that the quirky black girl is not to be confused with the black best friend trope. Although they do resemble each other on the surface, the intention of the two tropes is very different. The black best friend is relegated to being the shoulder on which the white ingenue cries when necessary and usually has little to no character development. She's the unwavering voice of reason, comfort, and guidance for the white protagonist, and now that I'm saying this out loud, this sounds exactly like the mammy trope, but younger. The black best friend almost always falls victim to tokenism.
Is your school lacking diversity? Is your life lacking flavor?
Yeah.
Well, look no further. Get your very own token black girl today. While supplies last.
The quirky black girl, on the other hand, is less of a token and more of the machine, if that analogy even makes sense at all. I do worry that the quirky black girl trope can be skewed into messaging that a black girl's proximity to whiteness and non-black culture makes her more refined, interesting, nuanced, desirable, and respectable, because it's far from the truth and what I think the intention of this trope really is. The quirky black girl trope is about letting black women have control over their narrative instead of being puppets for white writers to parade on screens under the guise of diversity. Essentially, the quirky black girl is whoever the hell she wants to be.